Today I'm making a tiny shadow box full of butterflies and moths to go inside of one of my cottages. These are the supplies that I'm using. I'm going to start by cutting 2 pieces of my balsa wood to be the same size. I'm not measuring here, I'm just sort of eyeballing it. Now I'm cutting another 2 pieces that are slightly shorter that also match each other. This is going to make the outside of our shadow box frame. I'm adhering everything together with just a little dot of all-purpose glue. I used like a craft glue here that seems to hold it together. It doesn't really have to, withstand much wear and tear, so that should be enough to do it. I'm trying to make sure that everything's just about 90 degrees here so that I don't have to pull the frame apart once it's dry to change an angle. Just a little bit more glue, and then I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm using a cotton rag paper here. It's slightly thicker than regular paper, just tearing it in half to make it into a more manageable size. This is what we're going to draw our butterflies on. I'm using the smooth side of the paper and a tiny little micron pen to draw some butterflies that I feel like are about the right size to fit in the frame. I think I'm going to do about 6 butterflies for this frame size. You can always, make them bigger or smaller depending. This is the pen that I stole from Spain's pen box. Highly recommend it. Any tiny pen will do, and it really depends on the scale of the thing that you're working on. I'm just giving these a rough cut. I'm going to go in and fine-tune the cuts later, but I just want to get them out of this heavy piece of paper. So I'm going to go around each moth and butterfly and just cut them out. I find that it's helpful to use just the tip of the exacto blade to poke it into the paper. You have a little bit more control rather than using your fingers. Here's all my guys cut out. Now I'm going in and just cutting around the wings that I drew, being very careful to not cut towards myself, even though the blade is really tiny. I'm not using that much pressure. So I'm going to repeat this step for all of the butterflies. Just make sure that there's no white edges around them. There he is. Now all my butterflies are cut out. I'm going to use the back of my exacto blade to score them in the middle, like where their thorax is, and fold them over to give them a realistic wing shape. If you want to give them a test blow, you can. This is an unnecessary step. I'm shaving down the edge of my frame to make sure that it's flush. You could also do this with sandpaper, but I feel like my guy's so sensitive that I just want to shave it down with a blade so I can be very precise about it. Now I'm cutting out the backing paper. This can be any other scrap of paper that you have. I just want to have something to mount the little creatures on. Just run a bead of glue along the edge there, and then place your flush frame on top. Make sure it's all even, and wait for it to dry. Now that it's dry, I'm going to add my little guys inside. I'm just trying to see if they all fit, if the scale's right. I didn't really test this beforehand. I'm just testing it now to see if they'll fit horizontally next to each other, which is what I really want them to do. Seems like they fit. Now I'm just adding a little drop of glue where I want each butterfly to sit. I'm sort of putting like a big one and a small one next to each other so that their wings can be fully outstretched. And there we go. Now I'm going to wait for that to dry. This is a piece of plastic that I got from a blueberry container in my refrigerator. I cut it to the size of the frame, and now I'm just adding a bead of that same craft glue all around the top of the frame. You can make sure this side is even too. This seemed pretty even, so I didn't shave it down like I did with the back side. Really globbing the glue on there. Now I'm going to take my little blueberry plastic and stick it on top, squish it down, make sure that it's making contact with the glue on all sides, and I'm going to wait for that to dry. There it is, all finished. I'm hanging mine up in the first little cottage that I made. It's going on this gallery wall with a couple of other things, including some tiny hand-dipped beeswax candles. If you guys want to send me pictures, if you end up making this project, please do. I'm posting links to my Instagram and my email down below. Have fun. Thank you guys so much for watching my first YouTube video. I'm going to be making some more videos, trying to do something that's nice and provides community in a time where we're not really supposed to be hanging out with each other. So stay tuned.